Cool. Yeah, and feel free to say hi to everyone on the chat, as you come in, especially if you see people that you recognize. Hey, Wendy, good to see you. If you see people that you recognize, feel free to, add in the chat like, hey, how's it going? All right. So, it's interesting today. Before I delve in, I just want to make two quick announcements. And the first one is obviously I'm just going to put again my contact information. I put that in the chat, and I put it for a reason. It's because I do put out resources on Instagram and Twitter out daily, or try to do it daily. So if you want to follow me on these, please do. Also, if you wanted to contact me directly, just go to info@eqschools.com. You can email me, and you can also even get on eqschools.com/connect, and you can even chat, get on my schedule to chat with me one-on-one if you wanted to talk about, if you wanted any support or you wanted any support for your school. Finally, I'm also putting my YouTube channel up because we're putting all of the recordings of the webinars in the YouTube channel. If you couldn't be with us one day, you can go over there and check them out. And also, we're putting up a lot more videos and resources on the YouTube channel. So go check it out. If you like the YouTube channel, please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers so that I can customize our name. I also wanted to let you know that I'm in the midst of creating an online course for educators, essentially an EQ educator course. And I would love to actually get your feedback on what you would want to see on the course. And so on Thursday, I'm going to invite anyone who wants to stay after our webinar, so basically at 11:30, to stay on the line with me for another 20 seconds. And yeah, and or not 20 seconds, sorry, 20 minutes. And share, what it is that you would want to see. And I'm also going to give you more of a sense of what the course will be about. So want to say that. Also, in the next couple of weeks, we're going to have some amazing guest speakers. I'm really excited about it. This week, you get all me, but I'm really, really excited about what's coming down the pipe. So with all that, I want to get into today's content. And I wanted you to know, I actually planned today on doing something that I'm going to actually do on Thursday. On Thursday, we're going to talk about how to deal with something called negativity bias, which is something that I think is very easy for a lot of us to do right now, especially when we are supporting people who are, all of us are going through a ton, but when we're supporting kids and parents who are really, going through a lot of times they can kind of act irrationally, and they can take their stuff out on caregivers and educators. And so how do we kind of deal with when we have 30 people who send us really great messages and really like the work we're doing, but then one person is really sending us this nasty email? How do we deal with that? Because it's so easy for us to just focus on that negative things for so long. I think it's a very, very, very important thing for us to do well now, so that we can actually kind of really support our system. With that, I realized over the last few days that what the world really needs right now, what a lot of people have been telling me, and also what I'm picking up just energetically from not only my friends, but what I'm hearing on the news and what I'm seeing, what I'm kind of feeling around me, is just a sense of knowing how to deal with fear. Like how to really deal with fear that's coming up for us right now. It seems like a real thing that's up, and that people need support around. And so I want to dedicate today towards giving you some tools towards dealing with whatever fears that might come up for you. And they can be really big, and they can be, smaller. But I think that's really important, and that's what I want to focus on. Yesterday, it's crazy. Last night, I went to Target. And I went to Target to buy a bunch of stuff for our family. I was praying for toilet paper. Yeah, no way. And but as I'm driving up to Target, and as I get out of my car, I've got a mask, and we put a mask. By the way, I it was so fortunate. Just a quick aside. The other day, I go into my garage, and I find that I have like 20 masks that I didn't even know were there. And so I kept 4 and I donated the rest to a hospital in LA. So I'm sharing the story because, hey, who knows? If you have some masks in your garage, maybe, check out your garage. You might have some masks that you can donate to, to hospitals. But basically, I kept a few masks and I took one of them and went to Target. And as I'm walking out of my car and I'm putting this mask on myself last night, I literally felt a moment of fear like I haven't felt before. Fear for my life, like fear for my, like my life. I I could, contract something that could take me out. And it was um just like a shopping experience that was almost, it was beyond eerie, it was beyond just scary, it was a whole other level for me. And I realized that there's a lot of fears that I've been experiencing over the last few days that I haven't really acknowledged. And one of the most important tips that I want to give you today, that I've gotten from a lot of my mentors and people, is when we deal with fear. And I'm going to give you a bunch of different things, but the first thing is, the most important thing to do with fear is to acknowledge fear, to acknowledge that the fear is there. So the reason for that is because emotions that are named are emotions that can be tamed. Whatever is named can be tamed. Whatever is repressed becomes bigger. So let's do an example. All right. I want you right now to just take a second, maybe close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, I want you to not think of the pink elephant, a pink elephant, pink elephant with their the way they size their big trunk. Don't think of the pink elephant. and it and of course you can open your eyes now. And yeah, when we try to not think of something like a pink elephant, it just gets bigger and bigger in our head, you know? And same with emotions. When we try to repress our fear, when we try to repress our shame, they just get bigger and bigger and bigger. And so the more we're able to acknowledge and say, yeah, you know what? I'm afraid. Unemployment numbers are not even comprehensible right now. Yeah, I'm afraid. It gives me a little bit of like fear, maybe even a lot, you know? And the thing is that just by even saying to myself, like, hey, you know what? I'm afraid, that alone makes the fear itself, the charge of the fear, significantly less. Now, it doesn't take it away altogether, but it just makes it less. And I remind myself, like, yes, I'm afraid of this because I'm human, and that's just what's going on. So I want to just be totally vulnerable with you all and just tell you about 2 things that I'm afraid of right now. And I'm going to invite you to do that with other people in a moment on the call. One thing that I'm afraid of, for truly, and it helps me to share this, by the way, so I appreciate you being here with me on that. Right now, one thing that I'm afraid of is for the health of my parents. My parents are, in their close to 70, in their 60s, close to 70s, and I'm afraid, honest, because I also feel a little helpless. Like, I don't know exactly how to support them in this, and that scares me. Another thing that I'm afraid of is that schools, when we come out of this, I'm afraid they won't invest in their staff and students' well-being, and that will affect the impact that I can have in the world. That's another fear that I have right now. That's true and honest. And one of the things that I think has been most helpful for me beyond just acknowledging these fears is to engage in a mindfulness practice that I absolutely think is incredibly powerful and I love, and it's a mindfulness practice that Tara Brach actually brought to my attention and created. Tara Brach is an amazing facilitator of mindfulness. I don't know if you are familiar with her, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put her website up in the chat because she just has a ton of amazing resources too, and you all should check it out. But what I want to do with you all is share a little bit of her strategy of dealing with fear that has really worked for me, and then do a mindfulness practice with you all that's not necessarily hers, but it's derived from her ideas, and it's something I kind of took and ran with it. So I want to read to you a quick excerpt from what she wrote in her website about fear. This is Tara Brach. So, what helps me the most is realizing that although fear is great, greater still is the truth of our connectedness. Remembering love makes room for fear. So I have one client. She's been seeing people. I have one client who's been having a terrifying repeated nightmares since September 11th. We've worked on this so that now when she wakes up and feels afraid, she practices bringing to mind the people she loves and the people who love her. She senses her deepest connections. And this can be with animals or the nature world as well as people. And she feels the presence around her. When she does this, she says the fear is still there, but her sense of belonging allows her to deal with it. And Tara Brach says, my own experience is similar. I find that whenever I resist fear, it persists. It ends up strangling me from the sidelines, hardening my heart and stopping me from living the moment. But if I let my fear surface and call on the loving awareness that can contain fear, I find my way back to being intimate with my life. So what I'd love for us to do now is just engage in a quick mindfulness practice. And it's not going to be super quick because I think it's important for us to kind of delve into it a bit. I'm going to invite you to get into a mindful body position. By the way, Edwina, it's so freaking awesome to see you. And Ellen, I'm so glad you're here too. It's great. I'm glad that everyone's here. I just want to put that out there, but I haven't seen Edwina in a long time. So, so let's go ahead and take a deep breath in, everyone. And I invite you to get into a mindful body position, and that means your back is straight. Your hands are on your lap. Ideally, you're not crossing anything. And I invite you to just take a deep breath in for just a moment. I invite you to close your eyes. And go ahead and take another deep breath in. And as you breathe in, again, notice your breath going in through your nostrils and going out of your nostrils. I invite you to begin to bring to your mind now something that causes you some fear. And I'm not necessarily recommending you bring something that causes you real trauma or anything that maybe scares you way too much, but maybe something that brings some fear. And you know yourself, so you choose the thing that feels most doable for you to bring up right now, and maybe that's most up for you. And as you think of this thing and you sense this worry and this fear, what I'd love for you to do is to imagine yourself breathing in and allowing that pain of the fear, that tension of the fear, to pass through your heart, specifically your heart. And so you can even imagine the air going in that pain or the tension of the fear coming in with it and going through your heart. And imagine that your heart is solid and strong. And just for a moment, even allow yourself to experience how the fear feels in your body. Where do you feel it? Is it in your heart? Is it in your chest? For me, it's often in my chest and in my throat. And there may be some soreness, there may be tightness. Your heartbeat might beat a little faster. You might feel some contractment, like some contracting feelings, sensations. Just notice whatever is coming up. And as you begin to notice what it feels like in your body, automatically your body begins to start to accept that this fear is here. And even though the next thing I'm going to ask you to do might be difficult, I invite you to see if there's any way that you can begin to welcome this fear, that you can accept that this fear is here in your body. You can accept that it's in your chest. You can accept that it's in your throat. You can accept that it's in your neck or wherever it is. And even if you don't feel it in your body, can you just welcome that it's here? Continuing to breathe, continuing to have your eyes closed, if you will. You can even just say yes, like you're here. I see you. I feel you. You're here. And if you're not welcoming of it at all, can you be welcoming of that? Can you allow yourself to not be welcoming and just give yourself the permission? Like, no, I don't want to feel you fear. This is too much. I'm going to give myself the permission to feel it, to not feel it. Because paradoxically, when we can be welcoming that we're not welcoming, we actually become more welcoming. And so just see if you can sit with the sensations of the fear just for a moment. Continuing to breathe. If you're feeling fear, if you're feeling the sensations, there's nothing wrong with you. You're human. All of us are feeling it right now. Sorry about the noise. And with your next breath, I invite you to gently say on the inhale, just say yes, almost befriending the fear, befriending this experience. And as you exhale, I want you to imagine for a moment that the fear is surrendering itself out into the world. It's surrendering itself into a field of love, a field of awareness, a field of connectedness, of compassion. So you're breathing in and you're taking in that sensation of the fear, imagining going through your heart, and you're breathing out, exhaling the fear out into the world, imagining the fear surrendering into love and into connectedness, into belonging. Surrendering into the people that you support, surrendering into the people that support you. because love and connectedness and social support is always greater than fear. In fact, even our self compassion for ourselves is always greater than fear. So, again, breathing in, noticing the tension, breathing it in through our heart, and breathing it out into surrendering to a field of love and connection. And as you take your next few breaths with this practice, just allow yourself to experience more and more of it. We can allow our heart to transform our experience with fear. You can begin to experience more compassion towards yourself and towards others. Because at the end of the day, we're all in this together. Go ahead and take another deep breath in. Whenever you're ready, you may slowly open your eyes at your own pace. There's no pressure. Take your time. And take another deep breath in. Want to share one more sentence from Tara Brach's website that I find really powerful. And that is, our true refuge is our care and concern for another. When we allow ourselves to really feel our fear and let it go into that web of connectedness, we discover that our hearts are enormous and we can handle whatever life brings our way. I absolutely love that quote from Tara Brach. So what I'd love to do now, if you're okay with it, again, I think the power of connecting with others on this webinar is even greater than hearing what I have to share. And what I'd love to do, even just, we're going to take even just 5 minutes to do that and then come back and close. I'm going to divide you into groups. And what I'd love for you to share with one another is this. If you are open to it, share what your fear is, but you don't have to. If you want to, you can simply share about how this experience felt for you. I just encourage you to be vulnerable with others who are going through very similar experiences to you. So if you are comfortable with it, go ahead and share what your fear is, and also share about how this experience was for you. And you can even share also about who is it in your life that is socially connected to you, that you support and that supports you, and that you could have felt basically in this meditation as you were doing this. And the last thing I'd say is totally optional, of course, but you can, even if you are inclined to, as a listener, you could offer to the person who's sharing to continue to support them beyond this webinar. You can even give them your contact info. Of course, I don't want anyone, please, let's make sure we don't pressure anyone to do that, okay? Only do it if you want to. It's, of course, voluntary. But I think that the more we can just create a community that supports one another, the better. So I'm going to divide you into groups. We're going to do it quickly. So it'll be about basically 2.5 minutes each, quick share. And I'm going to bring you in at 11:30 and close it out. So let me break you into groups. I'm going to try to break you into groups of 2. And if you have 3, then share that way. All right. See you soon. So Lisa, I'm wondering if you can join Tarn in break room 4, so she's not alone. Let me see if I can move Tarn to, maybe I'll move her to break room 3. And Lisa, I'll move you to break room 5. Ah, Elizabeth is all by herself.
all the four
Oh,
kids.
yeah.
So they are by themselves over there. So I think that's my fear right now is they are above 70 years old. And I mean, I call them, but still it's not like being there in person, I guess. So, and with this virus thing that's going around, there is a lot of fear in that regard. And for me, I think praying and meditating has been helping me a lot, I feel. And it's just I mean, this whole process that Rani did, it's helping. It's just kind of, I guess facing the fear is the main thing, right? Is facing it is, and how do you, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to deal with it. I mean, meditation helps. It just like, and prayer. Those are the two things I depend on right now. Hoping for the best that my parents are fine.
Yeah.
Nothing is going on. I do tell them, try to stay home. Did I lose you?
No, I'm here.
Yeah, I'm here too, Jai.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I see. I saw Ronnie, so I was like, okay. So they're far, and the fear of them hoping that they stay fine, practice the social distancing, not go out. And my dad still has to go out because he has to get food and stuff like that, to buy back and stuff. And my mom, she's not healthy, not very healthy. She's a diabetic patient. So that's the thing. All the kids are somewhere else and the parents are somewhere else. It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely hear that. I know I have one son that lives with me right now, and we've kind of talked through, okay, we can handle this if one of us gets sick, but if both of us get sick, we're in trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but I don't know. I'm just really, I'm really trying to practice not just embracing the emotion, whatever the emotion is, just like we did today, and being able to just feel it and let it flow through, and not. I really liked that statement. Emotions named can be tamed.
Yes,
that's really good.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
really
I think
powerful.
that is, facing it head on.
Right. And ironically for me right now, I am so busy. It's like nonstop.
I hear you.
Stop with the emails, you guys.
Yeah, totally.
It's like, and deadlines and this, we already had our deadlines, and now there's take care of this and take care of that. And then I'm making masks for my daughter's office of 700 people, sewing frantically, trying to make masks for them. And it's like, okay, you just have to stop and process and intentionally it's really funny. Like I'll go on Facebook just to kind of be mindless for a minute. And,
Sure.
and the people that are talking about being bored, it's like, I don't have time to be bored.
Yeah.
I am not really sitting here.
Yeah.
So, but you got to stop and let those, because there's a lot of emotions going on.
Yeah. I think
Ladies,
this period,
I'm gonna take off. I'm sorry. I just wanted to see you both.
Sure.
I'm sending you lots of love. Jaya, it's so good to see you.
Thank you.
Edwina, it's so awesome to see you. It's been so long. I'm sending you a
I
huge
know.
hug. And
Thank you.
yeah, just really happy that you joined today. And
Thank you. This was like
Thank
the
you.
first day that I had 11 o'clock free. I've
yeah,
been watching
awesome.
recordings.
Cool. Right on. All right.
Thank
You can stay for the next 60 seconds. I'm just gonna close out the
Okay.
rooms. Hey everybody, welcome back. I realized we went about 2 minutes longer, and I'm sorry to not stick to the perfect time, but I thought it was really important to me. Again, like the more we give, right, the more opportunity we give ourselves to connect with one another, the better. So I just so appreciate you all for showing up and being here and connecting. And it's such a gift for me to be here with you, to share with you, and to see us all connect. Um, I'm really excited about Thursday as well. And frankly, I think that we only kind of scratched the surface of the skill of dealing with fear. And I think that we'll delve into that a little bit more in other weeks. And there's a lot more things we'll do. But Thursday, I think, will be quite powerful. And so I'm excited to reconnect with you all on Thursday if you can make it. Please also, if you can, share with your friends. Let them know, let them know about this resource as an opportunity. And I am going to unmute all of us so we can say goodbye. Have a wonderful day, you all. It's good to see you guys. Thank you for coming.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye,
Thank you,
Tarn.
Ray.
Thanks
Thank
for being here.
you.
Yes,
you.
Jaya, see you. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Anna.
Bye.
Thank you, Mary.
Well, everyone. See you Thursday.
All right, good to see you.
Bye.
Lisa, good to see you. Good to see
Thank
you,
you very
Ellen.
much. Good to see you too, Ray.
Right on, right on. Mwah.
Hey.
See you, Allison. See you, Diane. See you, Aurora. Bye, Daniel.
Bye.
Good to
Thank
see
you so
Daniel.
much.
Absolutely. See you all. Bye. Bye, Elizabeth. Have a good one, y'all.